So every year, the NBA draft, there is always draft busts. From Darko Milicic, Kwame Brown, Anthony Bennett, to last year where there's a good chance that Dragan Bender ends up being a draft bust. So anyway, I am actually going to make a squad of draft busts and see if they can win against an all-diamond team. So at the point guard, we have got a guy who is averaging about 6 points per game this year, Dante Exum, who was picked 5th in the 2014 draft. The 2014 draft was really hyped up, and in the end, it just didn't live up to it. It was not a great draft. And at the 2, we've got the 8th pick from that same draft, and it's Nick Stauskas. Nick Stauskas was so bad in his rookie year that the Kings gave up a first-round pick to trade him to the Sixers and got basically nothing in return. Also from the 2014 draft, off the bench at center, we have got a power forward, and it is Noah Vonleh, who was the 9th pick in that draft. Noah Vonleh was expected to go like 4, and when he dropped to 9, he was thought to be the steal of the draft. I thought it. Nearly everyone thought it. Noah Vonleh is averaging about 4 points per game for his career, and he was expected to be a shot blocker who is currently averaging 0.3 blocks per game for his career. And last from the 2014 draft class, we have got Shabazz Napier. I know you can't really consider him a bust because he's averaging like 4 points per game for his career, and he was a 24 pick in the draft, but the fact that he was so hyped up, he was probably going to go undrafted until the tournament where he was unbelievable. He was a 4-year player and just wasn't very good. Just had a great college career. At the 3, we have got Evan Turner, who was picked number 2 in the 2010 draft. Evan Turner has been okay. He's been very decent. He had a good season in Boston last year and got a big contract. I don't know why he got the big contract from the Blazers, but they gave it to him. Evan Turner has had some great games, has been solid-ish for his career, is a great ball handling forward, and isn't a bad player at all. And also from that draft, we have a guy who turned out to be a very poor player, and it's Wesley Johnson. Wesley Johnson has had one season, I think, where he averaged 9.9 points per game, and the rest of his years he's been kind of average. Could always score a little bit, but for the number 4 pick in the 2010 draft, really nothing spectacular. Even though Wesley Johnson hasn't been awful, he's probably been a draft bust, and the same with Evan Turner. The reason why I'm putting these two guys on the list is because in the top 10 of that same draft, and playing the same position as both of these players, were Gordon Hayward and Paul George. 2 of the best small forwards in the NBA and 2 All-Stars. At the power forward, we've actually got a small forward from the 2011 draft, and it's Derek Williams. Derek Williams was drafted number 2 and has been probably, I can describe it best as a journeyman. He was expected to be the best player in that draft by a lot of people. People thought he was going to be better than Kyrie Irving, and he just never lived up to it. He never lived up to the hype at all. It was okay for the Cleveland Cavaliers, was decent for the Heat, was okay for the Timberwolves at the start, but just an average NBA player who was drafted way higher than he should have been drafted. And at the 5, we have got 1 pick later, and it's Enes Kanter. Enes Kanter has had some great years offensively, has great offensive stats, but really, he's one of the worst defenders in the NBA. He's such a liability on defense that it's hard to put him on the court unless he's going off on offense. A great offensive big guy, a skilled big guy. For the number 3 pick in the draft, 1 ahead of Tristan Thompson, who's much more effective, and 2 ahead of Jonas Valanciunas, who's just better in everything than Kanter. He's definitely a bust. He also played the same position as their best player at the time, and they passed up on Kawhi Leonard and also Klay Thompson to pick him up. Off the bench, a power forward from the 2008 draft, we have got Michael Beasley. Beasley had a decent first 2 years at the Heat and had a very solid year for the Timberwolves where he averaged nearly 20 points a game. But there's been a lot of off-court problems with him that really hindered his NBA career. He could have been a star. He could have honestly been a star and had the potential to be a star. There's a lot of off-court stuff prevented that from happening. And off-court problems ruined this guy's career as well. OJ Mayo was picked 1 spot after Michael Beasley in the same NBA draft. OJ Mayo averaged 18 points per game as a rookie, which is really good. Averaged 17 as a sophomore. Had a few bad seasons for the Grizzlies, and had a good season in 2013 for the Dallas Mavericks. But since he signed for the Bucks, He really didn't live up to his potential or his previous season and only averaged like 7 points per game last season, and he's currently serving a 2-year suspension for drug use. While these two guys had decent NBA careers, one pick after OJ Mayo was Russell Westbrook, and one pick after Russell Westbrook was Kevin Love. Two players far better than Mayo and Beasley. And what makes it even worse was that the Memphis Grizzlies actually drafted Kevin Love and traded him for OJ Mayo. At the small forward off the bench, we've got Marvin Williams, who has had a very solid NBA career. Has been a starter for most of the teams he's been on, and has career averages of like 10 points and 5 rebounds per game. That's very solid. But he was the number 2 pick in the 2005 draft. That year, the number 3 pick was Darren Williams, who for a while was one of the best point guards in the league. And the 4th pick was one of the best point guards of all time, Chris Paul. He was picked 2 spots ahead of Chris Paul. So even though he's been solid, that's the only reason he's in this squad. We've got Randy Foye in this squad. He's not really a bust, but he's just on this team because I had only planned for 12 and forgot there was 13 players needed, so I just threw him in. And of course, the 13th man is the great Anthony Bennett. Anthony Bennett averaged 4 points per game for his career. He's shooting 42% from the field, and he's a big man. From the day he set foot in training camp, people knew this guy sucked. Anthony Bennett just really was never going to be good enough. People were shocked he was picked number 1. And to be honest, I'm surprised. Look, in hindsight, how he was even a lottery pick is beyond me. While he may not go down as the biggest draft bust in history, because the only 2 like stars in that draft were CJ McCollum, who was picked 10th, and Giannis Antetokounmpo was picked 15th. The rest of that draft was poor, and there's players like Ben McLemore drafted in the top 10, which kind of sums up the 2013 draft. So he may not go down as the biggest bust of all time, but he will go down as the worst number 1 overall pick of all time. Because even Kwame Brown could play defense. He could do something. He stayed in the league for over 10 years. Anthony Bennett was gone in 1. After his rookie year, Anthony Bennett was basically out of the league. So let's see if this squad can beat an all-diamond team. Jam it. Oh, we got the lead. We got the lead. Okay, Cantor to Williams. Easy midi. And Derek Williams ties it up. We're doing okay through 2.5 minutes. We're doing okay.
A few moments later.
Wow. They are currently on a 15-0 run. Mayo in. And Mayo with the and 1. Probably the best NBA career. Actually, no, definitely the best NBA career out of all these players. He's just in there because he was picked before Russell Westbrook and Kevin Love. Oh my god, Cantor is one of the worst defenders in the game as well as in real life. Wide open Cantor, wide open for 3. Cantor, hit the shot. Oh, he's our worst defender. He hasn't even scored. He hasn't rebounded. Like, he's on 1 rebound, 2 points, 1 assist. Okay, at least we're scoring decently well with Derek Williams. That's it. That's the only person we're scoring well with right now. Oh, Gasol for 3. Oh my god, he's shooting, I'd say, at least 90% from the field in this half. Let's see what his shooting percentage is against. He's shooting 86% from the field. In the corner from Marvin Williams, green light. There we go. Like, we're only down 23 points. It could be way worse. Could be way worse than this. Napier, do something. Behind the back. Get by him this way. Finds him open at the top. Marvin Williams for 3, and Marvin Williams hits the 3. 23 points is not the worst. If we can keep this within 30, like I said, I will be delighted. Okay, we need the number. I know he's not in the NBA, but he has to be in this squad. Anthony Bennett has to be in this squad, and we have to get him a score. Oh, we got Bennett. No! Shot clock violation! Oh, I didn't see the shot clock. I thought I had a dunk with Bennett. Oh, Bennett's getting there. No! No! Gasol stole it. Oh, I thought we were going to get that score with Bennett. And I will sacrifice losing by more than 30 just to get Bennett a score. Just to get Bennett 2 points. Mid-range shot for Anthony Bennett. Oh, Bennett. Nice move. Nice move. Is he gonna? No, get swatted. We were down 24 when we started. And every offense, it's another 2 points that he scores. Bennett. Oh, that's an athletic dunk from Anthony Bennett. We'll take that. Napier, move! You could have been so wide open. You should have been so wide open. Okay, that's semi-contested long again. Oh, there we go, back to 30. He really couldn't deal with his entire diamond team. Every player on his team was a diamond, and our best player was Marvin Williams' silver card. So anyway, that's the video. Obviously, I could have put in players like Darko Milicic, but I decided to put in a lot of players that aren't really talked about as the worst draft busts ever, and a lot of the worst draft busts ever aren't even on 2K, so yeah. So anyway, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.